Your Excellency Adel Al Jubair, Minister of State for Foreign Affairs and Envoy for Climate Affairs. Welcome to the Future Minerals Forum, 3rd edition. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, great to be here.
Welcome to FMF. This is the 3rd edition of the Future Minerals Forum. What do you make of it?
I don't have to make anything out of it. It makes it for itself. It has become the premier event globally for the future of minerals. The amount of attendance is exceeded 20,000 participants today. There are most countries in the world are represented. This is like virtually a United Nations General Assembly. We have very high level participation at the governmental level, at the CEO level, at the corporate level, at the academic level, and at the business community level. And I believe that the issues, the panels that are being held, the discussions that are taking place, whether the ministerial meetings or the sessions that are held to inform the general public, have been exemplary. We're very proud of the work that our colleagues have been able to do to put this forum on the map globally, and we are very proud of how far they've come in the past 3 years. And like I said, this has become now the preeminent global event in this area.
Your Excellency, how does Saudi Arabia view its role in the critical minerals industry globally? And how, since we're here at the Future Minerals Forum, does FMF fit into that?
Saudi Arabia sees its role in the global community as a partner, as a country that straddles 3 continents. We're between Asia, Europe, and Africa. 3 of the world's most important waterways are right around us: the Strait of Hormuz, Bab el-Mandab, and the Suez Canal. We are the largest exporter of oil in the world, so we play an important role in the global energy markets. We have Mecca and Medina, so we are central in the Islamic world. We have one of the largest public investment funds in the world, so we are a central player in global finance. We have huge mineral resources, so we are a central player in global mineral resources. And we see our role in the world as a country that is building bridges, a country that wants to trade with others, a country that wants to generate wealth, two-way, and a country that needs stability in order to be able to prosper. That's how we see ourselves. With regards to mining, we believe that we can be an example. Just like we are an example for energy producers, we are the largest exporter of oil in the world, and we are one of the most committed countries in the world with regards to green energy and with regards to renewables and with regards to changing the way we approach how we confront the challenge of climate change. We in the mineral field want to also work on establishing a new paradigm, a paradigm where it's not viewed as exploitation, it's not viewed as coming in, taking the dirt and then refining it somewhere else, generating wealth somewhere else. We believe that for a paradigm to be sustainable, it has to add value, it has to create jobs, it has to transfer technology. And we are in Saudi Arabia inviting countries, and have been inviting countries, to participate in our mining sector by being our partners. But now we're establishing a company, Manara, that will be looking to explore for minerals around the world. And we want to do this using a new approach. We want to do it in partnership with companies that have the technology, whether they're European companies, whether they're American companies, and we want to be able to do it in partnership with the countries in which the minerals are located. We want to add value in those countries. We want to process in those countries. And we think that this is how you create a relationship that's mutually beneficial for all parties, and you also help integrate the different regions of the world and different parts of the world, which in turn will help generate stability and security on the global level.
Saudi Arabia is championing this concept of a super region that goes from Central Asia all the way to Africa, encompassing some 80 countries that have an outsized, let's say, share of the world's minerals, and is really championing this idea of encouraging and facilitating collaboration amongst those countries. Why that focus?
We inhabit the world like everybody else. When there is a problem in one part of the world, it impacts on the other part of the world. The African continent is our neighbor. We have a common history, we have a common destiny. If Africa suffers, we suffer. If Africa prospers, we prosper, and vice versa. We want to build relationships, strategic relationships with the continent, as we have been doing for decades now. We believe that there are tremendous opportunities to try to integrate the continent with the Middle East, with Central Asia. We believe that there are tremendous opportunities to integrate through infrastructure, ports, railroads, highways, electricity generation, renewable energy, mining, and we believe that once you are able to do this, you can generate wealth and synergies and jobs and technology transfers that benefit everyone. And we want to do that as a partner, and we want to do this with other partners. And our approach has always been and will always be, it has to be a positive for everyone.
Where does Saudi Arabia fit in? You know, one of the themes of the Future of Minerals Forum is a focus on building resilient, not just responsible, and we'll get into responsibility and environmental protection in a second and the energy transition, but one of the focuses is on building resilient supply chains for critical minerals. As you know, that's a conversation that's not just happening here in Riyadh, it's happening around the world. In the United States, for example, a lot of concern about overdependence on some countries, for example China, for parts of the supply chains that deliver these critical minerals. People talking about the need for onshoring or nearshoring. What do you make of that, and how can the kingdom help with this situation?
I believe that at the end of the day, it's about a cooperative approach. It's about diversifying, not diversifying for the sake of independence, but diversifying for the sake of making issues more efficient. If you have 3 ways of getting a resource, it's better than 1 way. But if you have 3 ways of getting a resource that is cooperative, where everybody benefits, you don't have to worry about the supply chain issues, because everybody from the beginning of the supply chain until the end of the supply chain benefits by having an efficient supply chain. And this is what we're trying to work towards, where it doesn't become a situation of different sides. We are all on one side, and the side that we're all on is to have access to minerals that we need in order to sustain and to promote our economic development, access to minerals that we can use in order to promote how we confront climate change, access to minerals in order to promote technology. In short, access to minerals to generate wealth for everybody. When we have that integration, the dangers or the challenges of supply chain become less, because everybody has the same vested interest rather than a us versus them attitude.
And we can't be here and not talk about the energy transition. Of course, you're also the envoy for climate affairs for the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. So you were just at COP28. In terms of Saudi Arabia's role in enabling the energy transition and globally, where do you see the opportunity for the critical minerals and the mineral space in general in supporting the energy transition going forward?
We have been on the forefront of countries with regard to the energy transition. What people forget is that Saudi Arabia was one of the first countries to call for the production and development of alternative sources of energy. We, in the 1980s, we called for renewable energies, solar, wind, water, hydro, because we believed, and we still believe, that the world's demand for energy will keep growing, but that oil and gas will not be able to meet that growing demand, because that is a finite resource. So we have been arguing that the world needs to invest in alternative sources of energy if it wants to meet its future energy needs. And we have been one of the first countries to invest in solar and in wind and in hydro, and we are now big investors in this field, and we will continue to be investors in this field. So with regards to the energy transition, we have been talking about it for 40 years. and we have been investing in it for 40 years. And we have accelerated that investment. With regard to mining, it's very important that we have access to the minerals that we need in order to create solar panels, in order to create electric cars, in order to create electric car batteries. We need that. But we also need a more holistic approach. We need behavior change. We need redesigning of our cities. We need to change the way we do things, so we become more efficient in how we use energy. Because at the end of the day, no matter how much we're looking for in terms of minerals, I don't believe we will have enough to meet the needs of transitioning in energy. We're going to have a shortage of cobalt, we're going to have a shortage of lithium, we're going to have a shortage, and this in spite of increasing the production of those minerals several times. Just in the next 10 years, we will still have a shortage. So relying on minerals to produce new technologies in order to deal with transition is not going to be enough. We have to do other things. We have to do things like nature-based solutions, planting trees and mangroves. We have to do things like turning waste into energy. We have to do things like reducing how much we consume, and we have to do things like redesigning our cities, like I mentioned. So you drive less, you lose less energy, you pollute less, and you end up with more time that you can use anywhere you want to improve your quality of life. So we think a holistic approach, and we believe mining is important to this transition. We believe it has to be a win-win for everyone, and we believe that there is no silver bullet. We have to use the whole toolkit that's available to us in order to meet this challenge, which I'm very confident we, the world writ large, will meet the challenge. We will overcome the challenge, and we will deal with it in a way that preserves our environment, in a way that preserves our climate, and in a way that preserves how we live. We will do it. And we have the technology, we have the financial resources, and we just need a little bit more of the will. And I've noticed that the discussion on climate is becoming less emotional, it's becoming less about grandstanding, and it's becoming more about can-do, and more about what we have to do together in order to meet those challenges, and I'm very optimistic.
Your Excellency, Minister Adel Al Jubair, thank you very much for your time.
Always a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Great to be with you.